Greetings from St. Perpetua Community. There's been a lot of emphasis on maintaining good mental health during this difficult time, and plenty of recommendations on how to do that. Without the ability to gather publicly for communal prayer, many have looked for ways to pray more regularly at home and with family to maintain spiritual health. But one area of our lives that I think gets sorely neglected is our emotional health. How many different emotions has this unprecedented time churned up within you? Anger, fear, sadness, frustration, confusion, depression? Many folks have difficulty in expressing or even naming the emotions they're feeling. Some of us have been taught to suppress strong emotions, or maybe you never learned a vocabulary to accurately describe your emotions in all their nuance. Some have unspoken societal, religious, or organizational rules against expressing them. Yet our emotional life is a critical aspect that defines us as human beings. Our feelings provide us with information that guides our thinking and behavior, both positively and negatively. We are not our emotions, but they provide the depth and richness of our human experience and our interaction with others. Those who mistrust their emotions need only look to the person of Jesus in the Gospels to understand the richness of his emotional life. Jesus was a person of joy. He said, "I have spoken to you so that my joy may be in you and your joy may be made full." He experienced exhaustion and tried to get away from the crowds, but they found him anyway. He experienced rage over the hypocrisy of some of the religious leaders, even calling them snakes and a brood of vipers. He didn't hold back his indignation. He was disgusted by greed and the oppression of the poor, the money gouging and price fixing in the temple courtyard. In his anger, he overturned the tables of the money changers. When they took him to the tomb of his friend Lazarus who died, and Jesus saw the man's sister weeping along with their neighbors, the gospel tells us that Jesus was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. And then it says very simply, and Jesus wept. He experienced frustration at what slow learners his disciples were. And Jesus experienced agony bordering on despair, just as we prayed for an end to this horrible time of pandemic. Father, if you are willing, take this cup away from me. Unless we encounter Jesus as someone who experienced the spectrum of a rich and full emotional life, we miss the power of the gospel and the core of his message. So, stuffing or suppressing our emotions cuts off part of our humanity and can even have harmful physical consequences: an upset stomach, sore shoulders, a stiff neck, a headache. Far better to name and express what we're feeling so we can release it and use it to better understand ourselves and our situation. Some people can do that easily with an understanding spouse. Others have a trusted friend who provides a sounding board and a safe space to share. Another beneficial way is to write about your emotions. The process of writing allows you to get it out of yourself and onto the paper or your laptop. In doing so, you gain a new perspective on your emotions and understand them and their implications more clearly. After you write, you don't have to save the document. The point is to release the thoughts and feelings out of you and onto the page. Once you understand what you're feeling more precisely, you'll be better equipped to respond in a constructive way. Wouldn't it be a blessing if we could see our emotions as God-given gifts that allow us to experience the breadth and depth of what it means to be human, this complex and amazing life that we're privileged to share?